Hello, fellow pirates, and welcome back to Dreadlock Gaming. Today I'm going to talk about one of my specialty builds, the Monster Killer build. This build works great for both Zamaharabu and Listari, and can easily solo either one of them without any problems. Now let's get into the build, what we use, and why. First things first, what ship are we going to use? Well, we're going to use the Snow. And the reason we're going to use the Snow is its perks. It's a tank, specializes in bracing against incoming damage, and excels in defense. Has tenacity, recovers brace strength by 4% per second, while bracing increases brace strength by 150% and brace strength recovery by 100%. Vindictive, after bracing, increases weapon damage by 20% for 20 seconds. So whenever you brace and you take a hit, for 20 seconds after that, you get 20% more damage. That's always good against a monster. Now, let's check out what weapons we're going to use. The front and rear, we're going to use Fire Bombard 3s. The reason we use Fire Bombard 3s over something a little bit more powerful like the Dardanelles is because fighting the sea monsters can be a little bit unpredictable whenever it comes to judging the distance. Being able to fire more than one shot gives us a little bit of forgiveness there. Where with Dardanelles, it's one shot, hit or miss. No forgiveness. Now on the sides, we're going to use Zamzam 3s. And the reason we use the Zamzam 3s, a lot of burst damage all at once on your sides. And whenever he comes in for an attack, you can blast him in the face. Works great. Now on Listari, whenever he's doing his side attack and he goes in for the bite, if you time it just right, you can stop him as dead in his tracks, and he doesn't actually get to bite your ship. Now, whenever he does the tail whip, it doesn't work, only on his bite. Now for the auxiliary, we have the Infernal Maw. The Infernal Maw has the buoys. You throw them out, does damage that way. Works great. Now, this is one part of the master combo for this build. Infernal Maw along with the armor. The armor we're going to use, Stormwoven Symphony. And the reason we use the Stormwoven Symphony is because of its perk. Crescendo. Crescendo, holding brace charges up a sonic attack, dealing up to 6,000 damage to surrounding hostiles up to 125 meters away from when fully charged. Now, this along with the Infernal Maw buoys, as long as they're within that 125 meter range, will deal out a significant amount of damage. Now, Zamaharabu, whenever he attacks you, he doesn't break your brace. Though with Listari, he does break your brace. So the tactic is a little bit different between the two monsters, but you end up getting the same result. With Zamaharabu, you actually need to throw the buoys out in front of you between you and Zamaharabu. Use the brace, the sonic wave from your brace buildup just before he gets to you, whenever he's inside your buoy range. That way you get damage from the sonic blast and from the buoys going off. Now that's a little different with Listari. When Listari does his underneath attack, he breaks your brace. So you set up your buoys, you get right in between your buoys, and start bracing. And whenever he comes up from underneath and attacks you, it breaks your brace, sets off the sonic attack, as well as the buoys, and can do anywhere between 10 and 15% of his health bar in damage. Now let's move on to the furniture. With the furniture, our main furniture is going to be the water tank, because it reduces crew stamina depletion by 50% while bracing and increases stamina recovery by 20%. We want to build that stamina up as fast as we can, and we want to use as little as we can while we're bracing. That's where the water tank comes in. Spirit Locker reduces crew stamina depletion at the start of bracing by 20%, while slowed by flooding, torrent sails, or other status effect. Now, both monsters are going to tear your sails, and the Zamaharabu is going to do some flooding damage to you. Increased damage mitigation by 15% while bracing. That's 15% less damage you're going to take whenever you're bracing and he hits you. Increases armor by 7%. That's an even greater reduction in damage. Bombardment Assur. Increases your bombard damage by 10%. Now it has a structure damage and repair stuff, but those, we aren't worried about those. We just want that extra bombard damage. Maintained Arsenal. Increases damage from auxiliary weapons by 10%. That's more damage that our Infernal Maw is going to put out, which means even bigger numbers whenever we use the Stormwoven and Infernal Maw combination. Demi-Cannon works. 19% more elemental damage from Demi-Cannons. He comes in for a side attack. That's 19% more elemental damage. In this case, fire. Bombard works. Same thing. 19% more elemental damage. In this case, fire and explosive, because the fire bombards do both, fire and explosive. So you get 19% more damage from fire and explosive. Okay, that covers the ship build. Now let's go give it a try against Zamaharabu. I'd love to show you Lestari, but Lestari isn't currently available. Lestari will be back next week, and I'll do an update on how well this works on Lestari. But it works great. And away we go. You can use whatever food you want. I like to use Rag Out. It's got good brace mitigation, crew damage. Not going to be using it on the monster. Stam regen is good. I'm sure there's better food for it, but I just grabbed some food before we went out here to help the brace. This build is an absolute monster killer. It works, like I said, it works great for both Zamaharabu and Lestari. This build can kill a Zamaharabu in 3-4 minutes, as long as everything lines up pretty good and doesn't want to run away from you too much. Fighting Lestari, I think about 5 minutes is the fastest I've done, but it's definitely quicker than 10 minutes. And this is solo. Let's get some of these buoys set out in front of us. Start bracing. See? Nice chunk taken off. About 20-25% already gone. Already down to half health. Look at that. 25% of health gone. And there you have it. Zamarabu is dead in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for watching Dreadlock Gaming. Keep an eye out for more Skull and Bones videos coming soon. Hit the like and subscribe button to the channel. Also check out Banished Souls Official on YouTube. Come join us on Banished Souls Discord. Links are below. Remember, never give up the ship.